Okay, so this is part two of the message that I just know my husband wants me to get out to you guys. I don't know why, but I'm gonna be obedient and I'm gonna get the rest of the message out. So imagine how high of a vibration you must have for another being to choose to live out their last moments with you. Your energy, your light, your aura, who you are must be heavenly for another to decide that they are going to spend their last moments with you. Nights, seconds, minutes, whatever it may be. Okay? Now, I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe that we decide when we want to incarnate in this world and that we decide when we want to leave this world. I believe that our souls decide everything from down from our names to our birth charts to the children that we're going to have to the person that we're going to marry to the family that we're going to incarnate into. I believe in all those things. So it's just a beautiful thing just thinking when I think about my relationships with not even just my husband, with others. And when you think about it in that light of we decide all these things, we decide who we want to be with, we decide what we want to do. We decide if we want to stay asleep or we want to wake up. We decide these things. It's written in our soul contracts before we even incarnate here. And so when I think about it, it's just so beautiful, you know? I met my husband when I was grieving the loss of my firstborn's dad. And I didn't understand why for a long time. Um, I met him so soon after. My daughter was 2 months. And so it was weird. But as time went by, I understood, and even more now, I clearly understand why, we came into each other's paths. We decided to do this. My last name is Lewis. My husband's first name is Lewis. So that right there just says a lot. Like the stimulation is stimulating. Like we clearly made a decision, and he was my soulmate that we were going to come into each other's lives. I can always point out the men that I'm supposed to bear kids with through synchronicities like that. Like even my firstborn daughter, her dad name is DeMarco Laurie. My name is Desiree Lewis. DL. Like it's just like we the same person and we were supposed to meet clearly. Like those are my signs. Even with Manir, our birth chart is pretty much identical. We're both Libras. I've never in my life had had a relationship with anybody that was a Libra. I've never dated a Libra before, and prior to even meeting him, I was just saying I had made a post saying I would never date a Libra because I think Libra men are bums and bummy and lazy and all these different things. I said that, and I ended up meeting him. So it was my confirmation. But however, you just have to be incredible for someone to want to spend their last days with you. And so he had kept bringing that to my attention. Like, I chose to spend my last days with you. I chose to spend my last days with you. And I was telling him back telepathically, like, thank you. Cause I couldn't imagine, you know, and like I was trying to break down in part one, that was very rare to happen. Being my husband had a drug addiction and it kept him gone a lot. He was gone a lot of the time. And so I just knew that he wouldn't be there, and he stayed with me 3 days going into the fourth day. Like he did not leave my side. Like we walked to the gas station, and he always would make coffee, and he made like the best coffee. We walked to a gas station, and he made me like his coffee, and he would always explain what exactly he's put in his coffee as if he didn't tell me 21 times already. But that's what he would do. He would make it and he explained it. He was like a chef inwardly. So anything he would cook or make, he'd always be breaking it down to you. And so we made coffee and then we bought all the snacks and then yeah, we end up oh he took out my hair too, you guys. That was another thing too. Like we were literally bonding and having our last moments and I didn't realize some of these things until after the facts. Like I had a head full of twisties, my natural hair, a head full of twisties. And for some reason, I just wanted him to take them out for me. So I asked him, like, can you take my hair out? And he did that. And so that was another powerful moment because your hair is like your strength. It's your ether. It's your connection to the spiritual realm. And he was allowed to be in mine before leaving. And I was allowed to be in his before he left because I always rubbed his hair and brushed his way. It was like, we just had the best bond when things would be going right. And so he just keeps saying that, I chose to spend my last days with you. So what I wanted to say to whoever this can relate to or whoever is resonating with these two videos is that if you've lost someone, whether it was recently or years ago, and you happen to be the last person with them, whether it was by their bedside in hospital or by their bedside at home, or if it was even a traumatic experience and something happened and you happen to be the one, there first, understand how much love is within you. Understand the light that is within you. Understand how powerful you are and how magical you are. And especially in that person's eyes. That person clearly thinks very highly of you and they trusted you to be with them in those last moments, okay? Now, realistically, when my husband passed, when he crashed on his bike, he spent his last moments by himself, on the ground by himself. And there was no one. He died immediately. When he hit the ground, he was gone immediately. He didn't feel any of it. It all happened so fast. His soul shot out of his body and he's seen it, and it all happened so fast. But the last of his waking hours were spent with me, talking. He loved me, and that's what he's saying it to me now. That's what I want you to tell the people. Tell them how much I loved you. And I thought I do that all the time, but he wants you guys to know how much he loved me and why. Which I cannot tell you guys why, because it's the true reasons why we love each other. But he wants you guys to know that he loved me, and my energy is safe and my energy is pure. He chose to come home from prison and come home and stay home with me. He chose to spend those last hours with me because I was the person he felt safe with. I was his peace. I was his calm before the storm that he was about to walk into literally hours later, the next day, hours into the next day. And so if you are the calm before someone's storm, understand how heavenly, how much God-like energy has to be within you for someone to want to spend those last moments with you, okay? And so whoever, I can be talking to another widow, another woman who has lost her husband, or a husband who has lost his wife, or even if you weren't married, someone that was in a relationship for a very long time with someone, and you were the one to spend those last days, those last moments with that person. They want you to know that they loved you, and they chose that because they loved you. You were their peace, okay? You were their God-like energy. You were their calm. You were the colors. You were the lights. And they chose you. You were chosen. See, being chosen is not just being chosen by spirit or the universe to complete a mission. Being chosen is that you were chosen to be the light in others' lives. And a lot of the time, the person that you are being the light in their lives, that person has a very traumatic, hard life. They've dealt with things, they've experienced things, and they've been through things that has broken them. So when they find that light, I was always a light to my husband. When he seen me, he seen my light. He's seen my light. And so he's telling me right now that yes, you were always my light, and I wanted to have that before I went into the dark. I had that. I had that calm before the storm. You were my calm before the storm. And you guys, this is on-site mediumship, what I'm doing right now with my husband, which is crazy because when I'm actually asking him something, he's quiet. He's showing me through synchronicities, but right now he is clearly speaking, and he wants you to know that you were the calm before the storm in that person's life. You were their light. You were their light before they stepped into that darkness, okay? So know that you're beautiful, you are loved, okay? To all my widows and widowers out there, I love you guys, and I'm here if you ever need to talk. Mwah.